I'll tell you what we got. We got another edition of
Fraud Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, all Sony ponies come to the front.
I just love ragging on this community. Sony fans, some of the most annoying people on the internet. Before you get butthurt, understand I play on everything. I got a PC, I got a PS5 and a PS5 Pro. I probably have more PlayStations than you, nigga. So before you get in your feelings, shut up. I got an Xbox Series. So I got everything. I got a Switch. Oh, I don't have a Switch 2 yet, but I didn't want to buy that yet. I said to say this, man. One of my favorite things to do on this platform is talk about how PlayStation 5, Sony niggas don't buy games. They sit on Clubhouse, they sit in Twitter Spaces, and they shit on Xbox people. And you know, Xbox has its problems, but they sit in there, they shit on Xbox people, they shit on the Minish Cap Mafia, aka the Nintendo fans, and all while not doing what? Buying any fucking games, while also proclaiming things like, and the reason I keep saying this and I'm just gonna keep dragging these niggas is because I've literally heard this in Twitter Spaces before, these fucking Sony ponies. Fucking Final Fantasy VII is the greatest RPG of all time. If it wasn't for Cloud and Sephiroth, we would have nothing. Fucking Sephiroth healed my wounds. Sephiroth gave me strength. Sephiroth helped me bench 450. He's the reason the economy is so good. Fucking, if it wasn't for Cloud, we wouldn't have fire, nigga. That's the way they fucking talk. And then when I pull up the charts and I show that they don't buy any games, then the Sony niggas want to get mad. Y'all didn't buy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The RPG of a generation. That's not what the numbers say. You know what the numbers do say? For some odd reason, PlayStation niggas are addicted to Xbox games. And it's and don't get me wrong, you're allowed to enjoy whatever you want. It just confuses me when people participate in the console wars. You say Xbox is trash, but your favorite game is an Xbox game. It's almost as is what? The console wars are not real. And you know what's funny? The last time I talked about this, somebody on the YouTube comments, they said, why does TBH talk about PlayStation niggas like this, bro? If anything, it proves Xbox people don't play games or don't buy games. No, it doesn't. Saying the best selling game on PlayStation 5 was an Xbox game does not equal Xbox players don't buy games. The two things are completely different. That means you buy Xbox games and that's it. That's a terrible argument. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand how you say you want more Ghosts of Yotes, but you don't buy them when they come. You didn't buy Rise of Ronin when it came to PS5. Like, we can pull up the chart, and every month the top games on PlayStation is Call of Duty, Roblox, fucking 2K, Madden, FIFA. Niggas just saying shit, bruh. Just fucking saying shit. That's why I said y'all need to change it from the PlayStation 5 to the X Station 5, because that's y'all favorite games. Grounded, Forza, Gears of War in August. I told y'all, next month, Gears of War will be the best-selling game on PS5. I had to get on it, but yeah, sure, okay. And you know what's especially funny before we read this article too? Sony niggas love to say, I bought a PlayStation for the fucking exclusives. They didn't buy Rise of Ronin though. It's a good game. They didn't buy Rise of Ronin. I bought a PlayStation for the fucking exclusives. They didn't buy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I bought a PlayStation 5 for the fucking exclusives. But your favorite games on the PlayStation are multi-plats. 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, and half of those multi-plats come from the Xbox. Make it make sense. These are some of the biggest fucking frauds. And and you know the worst part is? The worst part about Sony niggas is, in 2024, the PlayStation 5 won Game of the Year with Astrobot. Astrobot was a phenomenal game. Fucking fire. And do you know what happened when Astrobot won Game of the Year? Instead of the Sony pony saying, yeah, we got one. I didn't play this game yet, but I'm gonna go try it out. Like 80% of the internet is like, how dare this fucking cute ass platforming game win Game of the Year? Nigga, I thought y'all said y'all bought the PS5 for the exclusives. You either did or you didn't. And this is why I said the evidence is piling up on you fucking casuals. A game like Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. That shit is stupid. That shit too cute and colorful. Nigga, life is dark and gray. I don't want to play every fucking game and make it dark and gray. Sometimes you need a cute, colorful adventure to lighten up the fucking mood. But that's probably the biggest tragedy. Astrobot won Game of the Year, and for those unaware, that game didn't sell that well. And if it ever comes to PC, I predict it'll sell better on PC. Actually, I should hit a... They'll buy The Last of Us, though. Fucking Last of Us sales are surging. That's why Neil Druckmann said, I don't understand why people get on Twitter and shit on The Last of Us. But he's like, I'm looking at the sales number. This is true, by the way. This is an article that came out in an interview. He said, but I look at the sales and everybody's buying it. You niggas bought The Last of Us on the PS3. You bought the original remaster on the PS4. Then you bought it on the PS5. Then the TV show came out. And you said, you know what? I love this show. I haven't bought The Last of Us in a while. Instead of finding the 2 copies I got in the fucking closet, I'm gonna buy it again. Fucking frauds. You are reading this news headline correctly. Even the journalists can't believe this shit. You are reading the news headline correctly. And the worst part is PS5 niggas too. They'll be like, we don't got no games to play. Guys.
The fucking best game of 2024. It won in front of millions of people at the Game Awards. Was a PS5 exclusive. Most y'all did not buy it. You're frauds.
Now listen, that's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
Xbox original Forza 5 is PS5's best-selling game in 2025. It underlines how bizarre the modern gaming landscape looks now, but it's a big win for Xbox game studios, PlayStations, and players alike. I can't help but think of Jasper's famous Simpsons quote after emerging from a freezer believing he's been cryogenically frozen. What a time to be alive. It seemed impossible we'd ever see the likes of Forza and Gears of War on a PlayStation console, but it's happening. Not only this, but Forza Horizon 5 is dominating the PS5. You know what pisses me off about Astrobot 2? Not only did it win Game of the Year, and I thought it deserved it. It wasn't my personal Game of the Year. I thought Metaphor should have won, but I think Astrobot was a respectable choice, and I understood why it won. But what pisses me off is a lot of people who own the PlayStation swear there's nothing to play on there. And not only did you have the Game of the Year, but you had a game that was very creative. Had some of the best music. The level design was immaculate. It's probably the first game I played on PlayStation where I genuinely enjoyed the motion controls. It was very unique the way that it handled things. But because it's creative, it's unfamiliar, it's scary. Because for those unaware, when it comes to human beings, a lot of times we fear what we don't understand. So when the game says, you know, you got to sway the controller left and right to use the little slinky hands, niggas, they get skilled. Ooh. Niggas talking about spinning on their ops. They not scared of spinning on their ops. Niggas is not scared of fucking chicks with STDs and shit. If she bad, I'm getting it, bro. But niggas be scared to play with a damn Astrobot who got slinky arms and shit. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Niggas is weird. Ain't that weird? Ain't that weird? Venereal disease is at an all-time high. You niggas ain't scared to dive in. That's why your ass is on the T-app. That's why. Look, niggas is getting exposed. Why buy Astrobot when I can get a new bill for 2K? Facts. Shit. According to Alina Analytics, as of July 21st, Forza Horizon 5 has sold over 3 million copies on PS. 3 million copies. Guys, this shit just came out like a month or two ago on the PlayStation. Not 1, not 2, but 3 million. That says to me, y'all couldn't wait to play this shit. Y'all had it pre-ordered. Y'all was foaming at the mouth. And we know you had it pre-ordered because I covered an article about how it was the most pre-ordered game on the PlayStation Store. Shit is fucking crazy. It's not racing clear to lead the pack by a huge margin. Monster Hunter Wilds is just behind it with 2.9 million. This sold more. Forza sold more than Monster Hunter Wilds on the PlayStation. This is crazy. Then it's a big gap to third place. Assassin's Creed Shadows managed to get itself on the PS5 podium with 2 million copies. This is crazy, man. Yo, shout out to Wired Soul. So next time you see one of your friends participating in the console war, when you see your friend slip on that Minish cap and join the mafia, when you see that nigga put that PlayStation on his back and hop on his pony to ride into the battle, you see the Xbox niggas with a fucking ID card talking about this is my G pass. I don't know. Understand the war is fake. Y'all all are low-key fans, and that's okay. I just wish y'all would stop acting like the console war is real. That shit has been fake for a very long time. The T app exposed 31 women with HIV. Hey, that app is crazy. Y'all living wild lives, man. Y'all living wild lives, man. I couldn't be me. Y'all be safe out there. That's why I say no sex before marriage. Did I see this? What's this? Make sure this is safe. Final Fantasy, which one is this? 16? This is 16, right? Yeah, it is. These Roman numerals. Final Fantasy 16 debuts at number 4 on Xbox for the month of June. Niggas on PlayStation swear Final Fantasy is the greatest RPG of all time. Although I'm gonna give y'all a pass on this one because Final Fantasy 16 sucks. I don't care what nobody says. But the numbers don't lie. PlayStation niggas ain't buying Final Fantasy 16 either. It looks like the Xbox niggas are. In today's gaming, what used to be up is now is down. And what used to be down is now is up. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, shit. Check Mr. Number if you want to see your boys paying for the box. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You said PGA sells. Oh, yeah. Apparently. Number 8. I just bought some Take. This is not financial advice, by the way. I just bought some Take-Two Interactive today. I finally took. I've been struggling because it's a pricey stock, but I believe it's gonna shoot through the roof when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. And I mean, looking at the charts. I mean, look at these charts. This is crazy. This is why some of you bum ass niggas swear gaming is dead. 10 of the top 10 games in June 2025, 1, 2, 3, 4 are owned by the same publisher. NBA 2K, PGA, Red Dead Redemption 2, WWE. I'm surprised Grand Theft Auto ain't on here. Owned by Take-Two Interactive. You niggas love them microtransactions. You love them. Fucking frauds. Oh shit, new vinyl alert. What's this shit? Niggas stay lying about shit. Important announcement.
Bonjour, I'm Jen Star.
Oh, Expedition 33 vinyl, maybe? Oh, I see Ethos right there. Might have to cop that one. We might have to cop that one. Shit. I'm shocked a golfing game sold more than GTA. I mean, it's just for 1 month. The numbers are all over the place. You gotta keep in mind, GTA is an old game. I wouldn't be surprised if GTA is in the top 25 though. Still, PlayStation GTA is definitely at the top. I think it's more virtual because you gotta keep in mind it's different platforms which serve different types of audiences. The audience that primarily plays games like Grounded, where you play cute little kids fighting ants and shit, may not be the same audience that wants to virtually gangbang and sit in the T Grizzly server all day. And if there's one thing I know, the number one demographic of gamers that sit in the T Grizzly server all day, giving their money away to be broadband bloods, is definitely PlayStation niggas. PlayStation niggas mainly consist of people who weren't cool enough to actually be in a gang, so they joined a virtual one. PlayStation niggas, a lot of them are made up of people who call it, I gotta call my big homie. Like, nigga, aren't you 25? Like, oh shit. Kalo K, you gonna cop the vinyl? Man, what is this shit? No, I'm not getting no Aventura. I'm mad I know this shit, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. Not getting that shit. Sony Interactive. I'm not Dominican. Remember, I'm the native Hokage now. I can just never be myself. Sony announced their ChinaJoy 2025 lineup. For those unaware, ChinaJoy is basically their annual event. It's kind of like China's version of like E3 for PlayStation, where they announce all the big games coming out of China. There might be some bangers. We'll see. Sony Shanghai has announced its lineup for ChinaJoy 2025, which will run from August 1st to the 4th in Shanghai. So we'll probably get some cool trailers from Black Myth Wukong, probably the Xbox version. I don't know what this is. Exilage, Lost Soul Aside, for the people who are looking forward to it. That's another great game that's supposed to be coming out this year for the people who don't have nothing to play. I forgot about that one. Phantom Blade Zero, we look forward to that. Retrace the Light, I don't know what that is. Tang Legends, what the fuck is Tang Legends? What is that? Fucking Spark and Zero niggas with Hawaiian t-shirts got Tang all over their lips. What is that, a simulator? Tang Legends is fucking it's a remake of Fruit Ninja. Y'all remember that game where you had to slice the fruit and shit? You could only access the game if you a musty ass nigga with a fucked up hairline who wears Hawaiian t-shirts. And what happens is they'll throw up fruit into the air and you have to slice that shit with the motion controls. And when you do it, you'll get the tang on your lips because you bitch ass niggas don't ever drink no water. Fuck Spark and Zero. Unending Dawn. And then Vanishes Starlight, and then they show more Wu Chang. Shout out to all my Tang legends out there. Broke ass niggas. Drink some real juice, you sugar water bitches. Oh, in other news, it turns out this article was so fucking random, bro. But it turns out that the Order 1886 really was a victim of racism. Now, if you don't get that reference, the Order 1886 was a victim of racism is in reference to one of the biggest idiots on the fucking internet. They made a YouTube video talking about the reason the game failed is because of racism. It's a 40-something-year-old man that wears a dingy do-rag and a wife beater, so you can't really expect too much from him. But anyways, it turns out he might have been right, because a broken clock is right twice a day. Because according to this article, about 30% of the Order 1886 was cut months before the launch, says Ready at Dawn co-founder. If there's one thing Ready at Dawn co-founder wishes he could have done differently with the Order 1886 is getting more development time for the PS4 exclusive. He revealed in a new interview that the studio cut roughly 30% of the game to hit the game's release date in February 2015. And do you know why something like that happens? Is because the publisher sets a date in which they want the game released so they can try to get their money back. And because they put the release date too soon, it didn't allow them to finish the game. So if to you, the Order 1886 felt like an unfinished game, according to the CEO, it was. There was 30% of the game cut out. I believe the game was only like 5 or 6 hours. So that says to me, and only like 2 hours of it was gameplay. That says to me that we might have missed an entire whole hour of gameplay. Wow. Speaking with the game business, the CEO discussed how we really hope to make a sequel. The game did end on a cliffhanger with sequel bait. And nominated on what happened with the game's lackluster critical reception. The game's length, said to take 6 hours to finish. That is something that a lot of people talked about at the time. We cut, I want to say, 30% of the game a few months before it was released. We decided it had come out in the time allotted. We were to do it again. I would have perfectly tried to figure out a way to extend the development. Just a little reflection. So that's why the game failed, basically. It is what it is. Sugar water bitches is crazy. It is, bro. Grown ass man, bro. Get some real juice, nigga. How can I get tired of a certain genre of games? It makes no sense. Really needed a little more time to breathe. Yeah, I always thought this game had potential. I actually really enjoyed the story. The visuals were fire. The gunplay that was there, it wasn't like mind blowing. It was kind of like Uncharted, like a third person shooter. But I think what I really liked about it was I felt like the gunplay was very punchy, if that makes sense. Like the impact on the shots felt really good. So I liked the game. I just thought it was way too short. If it was maybe like a 10 to 15 hour game, it would have been better, I think. It was serviceable from what I remember. It had a foundation. They had something to work with, but it just didn't live up to the hype. You said it was The Last of Us in London. Type shit. A big selling point of upcoming PS5 update nerfs the console's performance if you want it to. So a new update coming to the PS5 because we know y'all niggas don't buy no games. So maybe you can, download an update and play with your UI or something, or when you're not playing Forza. A big selling point for Sony's PS5 is the console hardware's processing power, graphical fidelity, the works, and coming soon to a PS5 near you is an update that will let you turn that off. Now, why would you want this, you ask? It's fairly obvious. To save the world! This news comes to us through an official blog post detailing the changes. Tomorrow, an update will start getting beta tested by invited players before eventually going live to all PS5 consoles. In their view, the headline features an ability to pair DualSense wireless controllers with multiple devices at once, which may be a perfectly reasonable thing to believe, but you see, it's not as funny as nerfing your own console. The nerfs come as part of Sony's Road to Zero environmental plan, as they intend to reach net zero carbon emissions. Gaming is pretty thirsty when it comes to sucking up a bunch of power, blah, 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 blah. If you're not following this, basically they're adding an update that will give a low power mode to the PS5. It's kind of like how you can run low power mode on your PC. They're basically putting it on the PS5. So to consume like less electricity, you're helping the earth. It'll lower your electricity bill, but it's something you only want to use if you're only trying to use certain types of features because it's going to cut off some of the power. Yeah, eco mode, basically. I'm just curious what would be the limitations if you put it in that mode. Maybe like you can't multitask or some shit like that. You can't have like Spotify and the game running at the same time, only a game. If that's something you want to do to save electricity. This sounds like for most people, they probably won't care. But for PS4 niggas, because it took you 5 years to get a console, because it took you 5 years to save up $500, you know, a low energy mode might be good for you guys because I'd imagine you're probably struggling on that electricity bill. If you have an electricity bill, because a lot of y'all live with y'all mama and y'all daddy. Borderlands 4 on the Switch 2 will run mostly around 30 FPS with some dips, according to Randy Pitchford, which is the CEO of Gearbox Entertainment, which makes Borderlands 4, which is funny because last week I covered an article where they were saying basically developers have already unlocked the full power of the Switch 2 pretty much. And I said, that's not good because that sounds to me like the Switch 2 is going to be another Switch where 7 years down the road, the games that are high in graphics are not going to be able to run on this shit, and it's going to be stuttering. This shit just came out last month, and Borderlands 4, which by the way is not a graphically intensive game, this shit is cell shading, will be dipping below 30 FPS. That all but confirms that Nintendo has once again launched another Nintendo platform, meaning the Switch 2 will be good for Donkey Kong, Mario Party, and every other Mario game in between, Zelda, but don't buy third-party games on this shit. Randy Pitchford recently revealed the release date for Borderlands 4 on the Switch 2. It's coming shortly after the game drops on all other platforms, but his recent comments on social media have some fans mildly concerned. Firstly, it seems that Borderlands 4 will utilize the game key mechanic rather than opting for a cartridge exclusive approach. This is the assumption following Pitchford's comments. It's a big game. There will be a download, even for the physical copies. It also looks like the game will have some performance-related issues. Pitchford took to social media to respond to fans clamoring with questions following the announcements of Borderlands 4's release date on the Switch 2. One comment simply asked if the game would run at 60 FPS on the Nintendo's latest console, to which he said, "It was important to us to not cut anything and to support crossplay with other platforms. So no, it will mostly be around 30 FPS with some dips in intense moments, heavy combat, or hosting a multiplayer game in handheld mode." Damn, when you run co-op, that bitch gonna drop. God damn, bro. Another reason I'm not in a rush to buy the Switch 2. Why? Frame rate already dropping. And you know it's funny too? I respect the honesty, but you know how bad the optimization has to be for the CEO of the company to get ahead of the news and be like, hey guys, you asked for it and we tried to put it on the platform, but just so you know, the frame rate's gonna drop. That means that shit's probably gonna be pretty bad because they're trying to get ahead of that shit, man. Say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so. I even saw an article that said Donkey Kong Bonanza was having frame drops. I seen the same thing too. Nintendo games will probably be the best optimized, but third-party games, unless they cut corners, it's not gonna be looking good. And then last but not least, we got another Borderlands 4 trailer for Rafa. Whatever that means.
It's me, Rafa.
Rafa. Excuse me.
Light the dice! Looking good? Feeling good. You didn't think we were finished.
Who's ready to slide in 30 frames per second?
Here come the fireworks!
Accept fate!
You have selected Die in a Screaming Inferno. Adios.
Do you think Nintendo, it looks okay. Do you think Nintendo can create something akin to PSS VR like on the PS5 Pro for the Switch 2? You're talking about like DLSS on PC, where basically they use AI to help generate frames so the game runs better. Nintendo could do that. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about one of the most powerful companies, not in Japan, but in the world, one of the richest companies. They could absolutely do that. And they do have it because that's how it upscale. I believe it's using AI to upscale to 4K. It's just not doing it when you put it in dock mode. I just don't know if it's doing it for the frame rate. Nintendo uses NVIDIA's DLSS. Oh, you're right. The chipset does have it. So you know what? Maybe I'm going to change my answer on that then. I forgot it does have DLSS. The Switch 2 just came out, and I think what's happening maybe is developers are just trying to get their game on the platform to generate sales. Maybe 2-3 years down the road, developers will become better at handling the hardware. Maybe they don't know how to utilize it correctly. So keep in mind, developers get better at optimizing games later in the platform's lifespan than early. So it could just be that. If not, that means the DLSS on the fucking Switch 2 is ass. And if they don't, and if it is, that's because they don't. Shit's always underpowered. What's the reason why the Switch is still underpowered? They can't use the handheld excuse because the Steam Deck exists. Oh, it's design philosophy. Nintendo, so it's literally company culture for those unaware. Nintendo's design philosophy behind their platforms is always trying to find a happy medium between performance and price. So if you ever wonder why historically Nintendo's platforms are usually weaker than Xbox and PlayStation as well as like PC, it's because they choose to use weaker specifications in order to keep the price down on their platforms. So that's a design choice, and I don't think that'll ever change. It's basically to pass on the savings to the consumer. That's why also Nintendo platforms have always been historically cheaper than Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So that will never change unless unless a new CEO comes into Nintendo and says, this is the new era of Nintendo. We're now competing with PlayStation. We finna put the heavy hitters out. That being said, I think the better question is how come you guys kept that same design choice of using weaker specifications, but then you jacked up the price? I feel like Nintendo has enough cash where they could have took a hit for a year or two. And I mean, I know the answer to the question. They didn't want to take the hit. They didn't want to be pro-consumer. They didn't want to wait a year or two to see what happens with these tariffs or whatever. So they passed it on to us and made us pay more for less, basically. Yeah, they stubborn, unfortunately. Because the Switch 2, I don't think it would have been the price that it was if it wasn't for them damn tariffs. They was worried about that shit.